We'll get right to it if we're ready. I'm here with Special Lady in charge of the ATF, Kristen Ditinio, that's D-I-T-I-N-E-O. Kristen Ditinio. And we're here to brief you on what we know about the event of this morning. At 5:50 a.m. this morning, we've had 3 officers shot. 2 of the officers shot are ATF agents. And 1 of the officers shot is a Chicago police officer. So at 5:50 a.m. at I-57, at the intersection of 119th Street, on the on-ramp, which is in our 22nd district, officers were fired from the street toward the on-ramp while they were in their car on-ramping onto the freeway, I-57. Each of these officers have non-life-threatening injuries. And as you know, this is the 36th officer shot at or shot probably this year. We are limited in what we can say. There's an ongoing investigation. Officers and detectives are on the scene, following up on several leads, but we cannot go into further details. Otherwise, we can compromise the investigation. We'll take whatever questions we can answer. So go ahead. So one of the ATF agents was hit in the hand. Another was hit on the side, torso, arm area. And our Chicago police officer was hit in the back of the head, what appears to be a grave. So one of the ATF agents is female, the other ATF agent is male, and the Chicago police officer is a male. They were conducting an investigation. They were all together in one vehicle when they were driving. They were headed to a location. So that's part of the investigation that we don't want to give away exactly what they were doing. They were working in an undercover capacity. So we're limited in what we can say about what they were doing and why they were doing it, but they were fired upon while driving all in the same car, trying to enter onto the on-ramp. It was not a marked vehicle, it was an unmarked undercover vehicle. We cannot confirm any follow-up to the investigation. We don't want to give away what we know. We want to catch these suspects as soon as possible. They are not in custody. The suspects are not in custody.
Firemount jets and bees. Supply the creativity. We supply everything else. Visit firemountjets.com.
We start with a live look at Oakland, where a violent 4th of July left police scrambling. There were so many shootings, officers were racing to get from one to the next. KDX5's Andrea Nagano reports on what the police chief is calling 12 hours of chaos. Andrea.
Yeah, Oakland police saying today that his officers were clearly outnumbered when it comes to the number of sideshows and shootings they had in a span of roughly 12 hours. We want to show you a map of where all of these shootings occurred. There were a total of 7 shootings, which started Sunday night and carried into late this morning. As of now, police are reporting 2 deaths, one as suspicious and the other being called a homicide, which happened just after midnight on Bancroft Avenue. Oakland police responded to the first shooting at just around 6:25 last night with a 29-year-old shot multiple times on Elizabeth Street. Just about 3 hours later, the call for the second shooting came in, less than a mile away. Chief Lamont Armstrong saying a 16-year-old was shot by celebratory gunfire.
And this is one of the more violent 4th of July that I've ever seen when it comes to celebratory gunfire. Typically, we have a lot of fireworks activity that's always concerning, but this year, the level of celebratory gunfire was something like we haven't seen before.
All right, Shalom. All honor, praise, and glory be to Heavenly Father in the name of His Son, Yahweh Shemel Shah, Yahweh Shukah, the body Yahweh Shemel Shah, for the Holy Spirit, which allows me to come back and do these lessons, or hopefully something that can be edifying, exhorting, or admonishing to the flock, to the sheep, Yahweh Shemel Shah. The bonus to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone of Israel. Gosh, all the double honors to all the elect elders. Hopefully, elect elders out here slaves to be saved from this destruction currently coming upon this globe. All right, and chiefly to America and those being enslaved to be saved from being the Israelites, the elect and 1/3 of the Israelite race, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that have repented and will be found to have repented, by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh in the name of His Son. All right. So Shalom. So getting straight into it. This is the ninth volume of Banana, and pretty much in this volume we're going to be going into what anarchy, forms of anarchy will come to American cities. It says the powers shall stand in fear. Yeah, forms of anarchy. That's why I stopped it. I just want to get straight into it. So pretty much narrate this thing so you can see it if you didn't already. Pretty much, these people about to really be able to do what they want to do. There's rules are going to be out. Like, we know we're getting towards the end. It's the end of all things. It's the end of people it's the end of people being controlled. People taking parking tickets and going to court. People taking and just standing for that. People calling 911. We done seen that pretty much transition into this being the case years back when they, Chicago released that they weren't, being dispatched. They will no longer be dispatched for home robberies, certain robberies, and stuff like that, like certain things. So pretty much, it was being set up for people to start be able to do what they want because that's what anarchy is. It's complete lawlessness. All right, let's get that word anarchy real quick, just to see if these scriptures, if that's how prophecy has it. All right, forms of anarchy are definitely coming. Now, what is anarchy? It says a state of disorder. You see, a state of disorder due to absence or non-recognition of authority. See, lawlessness. It says absence of government and absolute freedom of the individual. See, that's what it is. We talk about how Esau he removed the bounds of the people of the water. I did a lesson on that, which goes into these nations, so that people can really do what they want to do. Because Esau, he thinks he can do what he want to do. The scriptures talk about that in Psalms, the 12th chapter. It say when the vilest man are exalted, the wicked walk on every side. So pretty much anarchy is just going into what is a state of people just doing what the hell they want to do, what to do to, either the rules being taken away or people just no longer recognizing, the rules or authority, and it results in what? Insurrection. You see, it results in riots. These are synonyms to anarchy, mutiny. People want to overthrow the government, disorder, disorganization, chaos. You see, chaos. And that's what they said in the video. So it says absence of government and absolute freedom of the individual, regarded as a political idea. It says anarchy is a society being freely constituted without authorities or governing bodies. It may also refer to a society or group of people that entirely rejects a set of hierarchy. The word anarchy was first used in English in 1539, meaning an absence of government. So people are going to get rid of, morals and, you know, the rules that have been laid in front of them. They're not going to care about that anymore. All right? And ain't nothing these people, and that's going to be due to these people, you know, Esau removing the rules, or these people that rule are removing themselves. So let's get the first scripture. This is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hand. Pointing to 16, it says, for there shall be sedition among men. For there shall be sedition among men. And sedition is going into enticement. It says, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, nor princes. You see, because the scriptures say, they say in Psalms, let me see if I can get that real quick. It says in Psalms, not Psalms, but Ecclesiastes. Grab that scripture real quick. Ecclesiastes 8 chapter and 4th verse. It's a lot. I'll type it in. 8 chapter and 4th verse. It says what? All right. And what does it say? Obey rulers. See that? Obey rulers is what this title is. Obey rulers is about obeying rulers. Ecclesiastes the 8th chapter. It says in this portion of it. It says in Ecclesiastes 8 and 4, where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, what doest thou? People that completely have taken on anarchy, people that completely have the spirit of the Lord, you know, wrath poured into them to pour out. You know, spirits created for vengeance. That's who, you know, somebody in America that is a place that must be thrown down by violence. That's who. So it says, 2 Ezra 15 and 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings. You see, they shall not regard their kings. And a king is somebody whose word stands, you know, can't nobody say shit. But the Lord is saying in this situation, the kings is over with. You know, no one's hearing that anymore. America's on its way out. And then it goes into Psalms, the 2nd chapter, where it says the kings of the earth set themselves. You know, no one's listening to this. It's going to be a revolt, if you will, somewhat, to the New World Order, you know, in some degree. But really, these kings is going into these your mayors, your city councils, stuff like that, you know, because people ain't really on the level of knowing about the elites for real, you know, but it says, nor princes, you see, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people gonna be able to do what the hell they want to do. You know, it's gonna be a complete state of chaos and just madness everywhere. You know, I'm gonna jump to the point. It says, because of their pride, verse 18, because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. You know, people not finna hit. In this many ways, it's manifold. You know, you got pride. These Americans are proud. So these people are not gonna let America rest. You know, they say no justice, no peace. You know, no racist police. They got pride. It says because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. That's anarchy. People not hearing rules. It says the houses shall be destroyed and men shall be afraid. Like men, so-called men. It says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. You know, and that is all going to successfully be able to be done. We just seen it last year. 3 precincts was burnt down due to the George Floyd fiasco. It says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. You know, So it's gonna be real troublesome times going on. So I want to get that word, if I can, that word tribulation real quick. See, get that word tribulation. Yep.
Tribulation.
A cause of great trouble or suffering. See, trouble, a state of great trouble or suffering. That's going into what? Jacob's trouble, affliction, tragedies, trauma. Let's see. Yeah, woe. That's what the Lord said, woe. So people are gonna be people are gonna be reacting due to pretty much things being reversed. Devil saying you're free, he's saying you're not free. People are gonna lose it. Say these people, talk about that in Psalms 107, chapter 27 verse, that these people out there with ends. These people, they ready to lose it and just go wild, man. All right. It says there's so much difficulty that's gonna be going on, because that's why they say that's why they're doing it. Tribulation. Tribulation meaning difficulty, reverse, affliction. There's gonna be so much misery and sadness and unhappiness and anguish and hassle and woe and grief and pain. People just going to say, fuck it, man. They're going, you know, and it's going to be so bad. That spirit's going to be on them so heavy that they're going to overthrow the police forces, man. You know, that's why pretty much Chicago's asking for the National Guard to be let on patrol, to patrol the streets. There's so much killing. The number's still going up. How many people actually died over the weekend from Friday to, I think from Friday just to Sunday, or might have been just to Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. But I know over the weekend, the total at 106 now, you know, from what I just seen. So yeah, that's pretty much that. All right. So it says, this is Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, that's what the Lord said, evil will increase. The love of many shall wax cold. That's how crazy it's going to be. You know, and for us, you know, all we got to do is pretty much be making ourselves, you know, as pilgrims. We're not even spirits, we here. We always on the move, you know what I'm saying? And we really know that pretty much it's not even really talking about us. You know, it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Yeah, it's not really talking about us, but anarchy is still coming. It says, because he said, you're going to know that your tabernacle is going to be in perfect peace. You know? Grab that scripture real quick. This is Job 5. And it says, Job 5:15, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. Up to the point. He shall deliver thee, verse 19, in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. These great wars break out. These fools empty the stores, empty out the food. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, even shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it comes. We're not afraid by any means, man. It says, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. That's all we do. It says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. Yeah, we see these beasts changing their habitats. You might see a coyote, you might see a damn toad, a damn bear, you might see, you know, damn beavers, pack of wolves or something like that. You never know. You might see a damn mountain lion. It says, for thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beast of the field, and the beast of the field shall be at peace with thee. And the beast, see, it's manifold right here, it's going to these people. Because it says in Ecclesiastes, man is like unto a beast that perish. He's the same. So the Lord is comparing these people to beasts. I'm gonna grab that real quick, and that's the time we living in. That these people, they're gonna be made into beasts. They're about to really become beast-like. I think that's in the 9th chapter. No, this is 3:19. I'm start at 18. I said in my heart, Ecclesiastes 3:18. Solomon said this. He figured it out. I said in my heart concerning the east state of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, to make them clear for what they are, who they are, and that they might see themselves, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. You see, are beasts. For that which befalleth the son of men befalleth beasts. Everyone thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yeah, they all have one birth, so that a man has no preeminence above a beast. For all is vanity. So the Lord has out of it right that what? These people are like beasts because they have no law. They're beast-like. What makes a person a beast? Let's get that word real quick, and then I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna get these videos. See what the Lord want to do. We just have to start saying that. Every time I say that, that's gonna be it. Or have to keep going. All right. Beast.
Beast.
An animal, especially a large or dangerous 4-footed one. Okay. And creature. Okay, it says brute. Yeah, the scriptures talk about how these people brute beasts. You see, a brute is a savagely violent person. Don't these niggas call themselves savages? You see, monsters. That's how this anarchy. Pretty much, the actions of these people is proof that we're going. America is about to see forms of anarchy, and the reason why it says an animal as opposed to a human being. Something awkward or difficult. These people don't act like so-called human beings. It says characterized by an absence of reasoning or intelligence. These people just going to just do what they want to do, not considering none of these. Those are brutes. Those are brute beasts. All right? Those are brute beasts. So we're going to go back to that Job. I'm going to show that. I ain't going to get it. Scripture's talking about it. You can look it up. All right? So let's go back to that Job. Job 5. And jumping down. Job 5 and 22. At famine and destruction, and famine thou shalt laugh. Neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. So when these people running through the neighborhood, they running through, you see them kick people shit in across from you, or down the street from you, or whatever, it's just on the news. Because really ain't gonna come down your dwelling, so I'll take that back. You're gonna be straight. They're gonna be cool with you. They might see you and say, "What's up?" You see them running out of somebody's shit, you're like, "What's up, bro?" You just never know. That's how the Lord had things. That's what it say. They say the beast gonna be at peace with you. They're gonna ask you, do you want some of what they just stole or some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how people think. It says, "Thou shalt know that thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace." And that's how you're gonna know. So like, man, I'm talking about the Lord showing everybody that's running in people's shit in the area. They all speaking. He's like, "What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Hey, you want some of this?" You're gonna be like, "Wow, probably coming to pass." It says, "And thou shalt know that thy tabernacle shall be in peace, and thou shalt visit, and thou shalt visit thy habitation, and shalt not sin." See? So you're gonna know that your tabernacle is gonna be in peace. You're gonna be straight, to be your home, If you have to make a move, so be it. The Lord say be his pilgrims. But that's spiritually. Do the lesson on that, spiritually, ultimately. Then in some terms it's gonna be physical. All right, but anyway, that's pretty much all I had. So let's go ahead and go back to this video. So So these police, they're not gonna be able to do nothing because the spirit that's poured out upon these people, that's it. It's to drive home what's gonna happen to America and say that's what violence in America gonna be going down. You know, forms of anarchy is gonna hit. They're gonna be running into, you know, it's gonna be more precincts being burnt down. It's gonna be more restaurants, you know, being ramshacked, more homes. There's gonna be more chaos, just randomly people just setting up doing what they want to do on the streets. There's gonna be more just people want to be out at 5 a.m. They're gonna be out at 5 a.m. Like that's you know, tons of masses. It's gonna be forms of anarchy coming to this place, man. You know, people start running life. You just never know, man. It's gonna get real. It's gonna get real crazy out here. But we know that Babylon is going down, man. All right, and we know why, because it says it tells us in Psalms 29th chapter when the wicked are in rule, the people mourn, and they say that's why they gonna actually do what they gonna do. You know, Proverbs 29:2 tell you that. It say what? It say a man shall have, 2 Ezra 15:19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. See, that due to what goes into mourning, people not being happy with America, you know, they're gonna see this place for what it is, which is also talked about in Isaiah the 32nd chapter, where it says, "Vile man shall no more be called liberal." Everybody gonna start seeing through this place. You know, they're not gonna be like, "This man not about freedom." You know, he a damn white. You know, people gonna lose. They're gonna lose. They gonna lose it, man. All right. And this is a quick scripture to show you that real quick. I'm gonna hit play. "The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful." You see, it say verse 4, "The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge." What's going on? "And the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly." The vile person shall no more, who's the vile person? Esau. You know, shall no more, so-called white man in charge, shall no more be called liberal. You know, going into liberty, which is freedom. You know, because they basically see these rules and stopping them. These rules are actually not liberating them. It's actually, you know, so you know what the hell what you think, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. So that's why I say the vow shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl shall be bountiful. So there it is. And people gonna see through it. The vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy. You say you're about freedom, but you're trying to lock everybody up. You're trying to restrict everybody. People gonna stop hearing that shit pretty soon. You know, they already doing it. It says, into utter error against the Lord Yahweh, to make empty the soul of the hungry. He will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. He gonna get rid of us, you know, with this truth. It says the instruments also of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the people with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. You see, but the liberal devises liberal things. See, and by liberal things shall he stand. And see, that's how we know America going down, because the vile person don't really got liberal things. He say he liberating you with this law, but he restrict everything. It's a restriction. It's a shutdown. It's you can't do this. It's you can't do that. You gotta do this. You don't have to wear a mask forever. People gonna see like this ain't the land of the free. And people gonna be mad they've been lied to. You can't be out here lying to adults, you know. Anyway, let me go ahead and hit play on this and wrap this up.
We start with a live look at Oakland, where a violent 4th of July.
So what? All hell gonna break loose as a result, and it's gonna throw this place down. You know, if you're not actually liberal, they say about liberal things, the liberal shall stand. You know.
Left police scrambling. There were so many shootings, officers were racing to get from one.
And that's not America in these rules, nor these rules.
To the next. KGX5's Andrea Nakano reports on what the police chief is calling 12 hours of chaos. Andrea.
So you went into that chaos.
Yeah, Oakland police saying today that its officers were clearly outnumbered when it comes to the number of sideshows and shootings, they happened in a span of roughly 12 hours. We want to show you a map of where all of these shootings occurred. There were a total of 7 shootings, which started Sunday night and carried into late this morning. As of now, police are reporting 2 deaths, one as suspicious and the other being called a homicide, which happened just after midnight on Bancroft Avenue. Oakland police responded to the first shooting at just around 6:25 last night with a 29-year-old shot multiple times on Elizabeth Street. Just about 3 hours later, the call of the second shooting came in, less than a mile away. Chief LaRon Armstrong saying a 16-year-old was shot by celebratory gunfire.
And this is one of the more violent 4th of July that I've ever seen when it comes to celebratory gunfire. Typically, we have a lot of fireworks activity that's always concerning, but this year, the level of celebratory gunfire was something like we haven't seen.
Yeah, because he said, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. People not gonna care about rules, keeping the tradition how it used to be. Nah, you know, wickedness that pollute all these gay laws and everything they are passing and allowing and no justice coming. And, you know, America talking shit to China and, you know, it's shut down. All this is which is due to you trying to put witchcraft. Hey man,
It's seen before.
Then there was the
Before. This year, the level of celebratory gunfire was something like we haven't seen before.
you're gonna have these damn police starting to quit. Because they say the power shall stand in fear. These people are not gonna want nothing. These regular police officers, these chief people, all these ones retiring and leaving, it's over with, man. The police force is gonna be the first to go. You know, you women getting shot, man, look, man, this thing ain't gonna be done. That's what anarchy is. The absence of pretty much government due to, you know, obviously the absence, or people not recognizing it. Which is gonna be, it's basically being both right now. It's gonna be both. You know, it's gonna be forms of anarchy, you know, that hit America, man. American cities.
There was this, police say a sideshow in East Oakland had about 300 cars and 200 spectators. The police department had tried to prepare for July 4th and had dedicated units to handle these sideshows and fireworks. But because of the shootings, those officers had
People doing what the hell they want to do, see?
to be diverted to handle violent crimes.
We're talking about 12 hours of nonstop chaos throughout the city, both violence and sideshow. That's what's concerning. And so when there's if there's any idea of does this police department need resources to address these issues, for sure we do. It's clear we do. It's clear that the problem that we're facing is a challenge for us to manage, and they're not going away. They have continued to be here this entire year, and we clearly know that we were outnumbered yesterday with sideshow vehicles and spectators.
Oh,
Well, you can hear the frustration that Chief's voice there, Andrea. You mentioned the 16-year-old was shot by what they called celebratory gunfire. So do police think that that was the main reason for these shootings?
The chief actually says that he believes the vast majority of these shootings are related to celebratory gunfire, but he says at this point they still need to investigate
props.
in each case independently to come up with a motive.
Jules, all right, Andrea, thank you.
And that was Oakland, California.
When advertising on YouTube, I know that making an authentic video with a clear call to action is the key to getting results. That's why YouTube offers tools, resources.
Screeching tires and fireworks exploding outside the windows of an apartment building. This went on for at least half an hour at midnight. Residents captured the burnouts below. One car had passengers sitting in the windows, spinning dangerously close to people watching in front of the station.
That's Missouri. It's Missouri.
The crowd scattered. Police showed up. Later, a sideshow popped out of the plaza, looking at Heather.
For me, some of the fireworks are so loud, the ground actually shook.
This went on for about an hour.
I called twice, there was no response the first time, and the second time said we're doing the best we can, ma'am. And then I came outside, and a neighbor was also woken up, and they called 20 minutes before I had. So, yeah, nobody was here to respond.
The city ordinance passed in May increased penalties for drivers and spectators. It also allows cars suspected of participating to be impounded with a warrant.
I love that, but it's new.
People not hearing that shit. Most of these younger people, these people not hearing this, man. You know, the degenerates.
If no one shows up and no arrests are made.
See? See that?
It's mute if no one shows up and no arrests are made.
And today you can see the skid marks and trash left behind from that activity last night. I reached out to the police department to learn more about how they are handling this issue. A spokesperson said that they do not pursue drivers from these scenes because of the danger that could pose to the public, but they are looking at innovative ways to address this issue, saying this is not just a Kansas City problem, but a nationwide issue.
See? So they can't even address it. This thing go, and then people, when people smell that blood, that's it, man. It's like lions. I'm gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father. In the name of His Son, Yahweh Bashmel Shah. Hakadash Wakar, Wadi Hal Bashmel Shah for the Holy Spirit. All right, till next time, shalom.